Hello, friends. It's a wild gnome. What's up, gnome? Yep. Hey, howdy, hey. What up, Glenn? Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody, to Dragonmount. I am Tom, and it is dark because I forgot to turn the sun on because I lost the remote for my light, and I can't find it right now. So it's just gonna stay off for the moment. I mean, I'm not that dark though, I guess. It makes my teeth look brighter. Who needs the dentist? Anyway, hello and welcome to a not your regularly scheduled episodes of Rewatch, where that's fair. Where especially today. See, I didn't even plan that. I always call it the sun, and we're watching a vampire movie tonight, so that's perfect. But yes, our two lovely guests were not able to make it this evening. London contacted me and she had some stuff come up and she couldn't make it, but I haven't heard from Kay yet, so I'm hoping everything's okay. But maybe she'll pop in a little bit later. And as per usual, Crystal, my fantastic co-host, has come down, or her little munchkin has come down with a sickness, which is spreading around the house as it does. Hi, fancy seeing you here. So anyway, it's just me tonight, and we're going to be watching Blade. So it's going to be short and sweet, but we'll have a good time. And at least I hope so. And we'll watch Blade and we'll talk about it. And if you guys have any questions for me, things like that, we'll go over that. I'll try to keep you all entertained while we watch Blade. I love this movie. I have seen this movie thousands of times. My friends and I used to watch this all the time. Fucking Blade was like the shit. You couldn't talk any shit about Blade to us. I could quote almost this entire movie by heart. But Blade 2 and Blade 3 hold just as special as place for me, but we'll talk about that later. A couple of things right off the bat. We were talking about possibly postponing future X-Men episodes because I was gonna cancel my Disney Plus subscription today on live with you guys if they hadn't reinstated Jimmy Kimmel. Because we support Jimmy Kimmel and all of the late night hosts and freedom of speech and all of those things here. And the current administration is, piece of crap. And they were trying to silence people, and ABC and Disney and their parent companies were giving in. But they made the right decision, and we have to show these companies, they got hit in the pocketbook hard. They dropped their stock, thousands upon thousands of cancellations of Disney Plus. Now we need to show them when they listen to us, we give back. So, I'll resume it, make a nice post later when we're done saying that they made the right choice, and we're going to continue doing our thing, even though, like I always say, it's a small platform. But I believe if you have any platform, you need to stand up for the right thing. Doesn't matter how many people, you're going to touch with that. But I believe in always standing up for stuff like that. But anyway, we don't need to postpone X-Men because we will be able to return to it next week, because they made the right decision and are reinstating Jimmy Kimmel tomorrow, which is fantastic. What else has happened? I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I watched that I thought was absolutely fantastic. I went into it with little to no expectation of liking it, but I absolutely loved it. What was it called? Break the Galaxy, or Rebuild the Galaxy. Yeah, Rebuild the Galaxy. It's a Lego Star Wars miniseries where it's like, what if Star Wars, but also Lego. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot, because I saw like a promo for it a while back and Darth Jar Jar was in it. And I was like, all right, I'll watch this. It'll probably be funny. I really, really liked it. Like, I really liked it a lot. Like, I watched it a couple of days ago. I had no intention of watching. I don't know why I even put it on. It popped up in my, you might like this. And you know what? I did like it. It was very entertaining. It was really funny, really funny. I was not expecting to laugh out loud so many times, but there's some fantastic jokes about Darth Maul in it, and Darth Maul does make an appearance in it, and it's really freaking funny. The basic idea of it is there's two main characters. Well, there's one main character and his brother who's like, very important. But anyway, the main character, I forgot his name, which is irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. But him and his brother are scruffy nerf herders. And that is because they are actual nerf herders, which is fantastic. So like the jokes start like that right 1 minute into the movie and never stop. And it's really fucking funny. But the main character is basically like, the timeline is after everything that's canon right now. So it's like after The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and all that stuff. And the main character is basically like us. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and he knows everything about the lore of the history of everything that's gone on in, the galaxy. So like he's very knowledgeable on all the nitty gritty fan stuff. So he's basically the fan. And him and his brother go to a temple, and it comes out that he is a Force builder, like building Legos, and crazy stuff ensues. His galaxy breaks, and when it's rebuilt, it's a little weird and it's a little off. Basically, all the good guys are now bad, all the bad guys are now good, and even more chaos. Like instead of there just being stormtroopers now, and they're all the same with the helmets and everything, they're all, for some reason, all of them. Imagine Star Wars, the entire movie, except every single stormtrooper has a stormtrooper body, but is Admiral Akbar inside the stormtrooper. And then all they say is it's a trap. That's like a Pokemon. That's all they say. And that's a running gag throughout the whole movie. It's really fucking funny. Totally worth watching. What was the other thing that I watched that I really, really enjoyed? If you guys are if anyone else is into horror like I am, I watched Weapons, which is the new movie by the same person that did Barbarian last year, where Justin Long was in that too. He's in this too. Ton of people in this movie. Absolutely wonderful. It was creepy, but also very entertaining, really interesting. I love the premise. I don't want to ruin anything because it was really fun to kind of discover what was going on with the characters like you do. So I don't want to like ruin it, but it's really good. Yes, they do. Yes, they do herd nerfs, and the sounds they make are really funny. The scruffy nerf herders is really funny. But yeah, anywho, we're going to jump into Blade now. I love Blade. Like I said, Blade is easily one of my favorite movies. Wesley Snipes has been just like one of my favorite actors since I was a little kid. I don't know what it was, like Channel 11, like Sunday morning movies and like all of those things. They always used to put on like Harlem Nights and all of his old stuff, but also I can't tell you how many times I watched To Wong Fu, Thanks for Coming, Julie Newmar. Like, fucking love that movie. Yes, the WB. Another bit of news. Speaking of the WB, that reminded me. Apparently, Paramount, which owns WB and DC Studios, is apparently in talks to sell or to be acquired by Netflix, which is terrifying and I hate and I hope does not happen, because like the DCU is on a perfect course of doing really well, and Netflix can easily fuck that up, and I really don't want them to. So I kind of hope they stay on their own and James Gunn stays in the position that he's in and they keep going full steam ahead. Okay. So the other thing that we're going to do for Blade today is a little bit different. We're going to do a little bit different of a watch party today. And I think we're going to continue doing this from now on, because this is so much easier than trying to queue up the watch party. You know, I'll be able to pause it. And sometimes people don't have subscriptions to certain streaming platforms and things. I can get those for you, and, you know, we can find ways to watch it together on Discord, if you know what I mean. So if you would like to join in watching the movie, today with us. I'm going to post a link in the chat in a second here, and you guys can join that link and watch the see how you'll see how to do it once you get there to watch along with us. So I'm sharing that in the chats right now. Okay, it's up. All right. So when you join that link, you'll enter a room, and you'll see that I have a stream going, and you can just watch that. You can mute me or the stream independently in either location. The other cool thing that you could do with Discord players, you could pop out the player. So if you only have one screen, you could pop the player out so that you could watch the film and drag it around and still have us up so you could see chat. And if I share pictures and things like that, we can watch it together that way. If not, I will still queue up the timer that I usually do. And, people could follow along that way. I just have to, for some reason, sometimes my timer resizes itself. There it is. But it's still, see, it's a little fucked up. It just weirdly just it likes to resize itself sometimes. I just don't get it. So let's just fix the outside. Let's just whoop, weep up. All right, there we go. Okay. So I will align the time. I'm going to let that go for a second because I'm going to start it. I started it after, because this is 1998. Remember, back in the 1900s when movies would start, there were a chunk of credits at the beginning of the movie. They don't do that anymore in film like they used to in the 90s. Like I feel like that ended in like early 2000s. They stopped doing that, I want to say. And now, like, you almost never see a movie where the credits are in the beginning, but this one did it. So it's like 2 minutes of credits of just them, Manhattan, like quick cut scenes and actors' names and stuff. But speaking of names that popped up in the thing while we wait for this to, about this movie, the co-star Stephen Dorff was born the very same day I was. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, right. You sent me that. July 29th, 1973. That's pretty cool. So you and him are the same age, not just, share a birthday. That's pretty cool. So what star sign does that make you guys? I don't know that stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff. The only thing I know about it is that it's all wrong, because it's like 2,000 years off because of the earth wobble and like the alignment of like where the stars were in the sky when you were born. They were different than what the charts have said because they haven't updated them in 2,000 years. The ox. Okay. With the Chinese calendar is updated for the shift of the night sky. But the, classic, like, Aries and Taurus and stuff like that hasn't been. But I, in the Chinese calendar, am a fire tiger. And I believe Aaron is like are you a... I just realized this is a real animal. I think I probably realized it before and have laughed about it every time we talk about it, Aaron. Are you a water rat? I don't remember if it was a rat or a horse. I remember it being an animal you weren't happy with, and then I sold it to you by somehow. I don't remember how. Okay. I'm going to press play on the movie now. So if you guys are hanging out in the watch party, I'm going to share a link to that again. So if anyone has joined in the last minute or so, which I don't think anyone did, but we'll reshare it again anyway for posterity. So I will reshare this link to join our Discord, which, like I said, if you join the Discord, it should, if you're not a member, it should temporarily give you membership. If you'd like to join the Discord, join and chat with us. I sometimes post really bad puns, and we have a fun creation channel where people share a ton of really cool stuff that they're making, and I share crap that I do sometimes. But at the very least, you'll be able to, watch the film with us tonight, maybe in there when you figure it out, because I am not. Yeah. Anyway. All right, here we go. I'm going to press play on the movie, and then I will press play on the timer when the times line up. So if you're following along either way, you can do that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and play. And the timer is go. Okay, cool. So everyone let me know, like in chat. Yeah, I wish. Like, there's, you know what? Like, more and more, I almost never see people that legitimately don't like puns. Like, I see people that pretend not to like them, but you know, they like them. But I did meet someone once that really just did not think they were funny, thought they were dumb, and talked a lot of shit about puns. It was at a convention. I forgot the dude's name. It was at Jordan Con, actually, for those who know what Jordan Con is. I love this opening scene. This, if you want to summon an entire generation of people, just play this music. The moment this music starts playing, you will know who your friends are when this music starts playing, and when you see everyone like, that's when you know you're in the right place. This was what's his name, is like one of his first movies too. The guy that plays freaking Deacon Frost's goon. I forgot his name. Kind of looks like Chris Christopherson, like a young Chris Christopherson. The guy that gets his arm chopped off and shit. He's in a ton of stuff now. I love that guy. He was in the Gotham show. He played Donald Logue. Logue, I think his name is. Yeah. Oh, his name is Donald, like Donald Flynn. I didn't realize that. But yeah, he's a pretty cool actor. I like him a lot. He played like the corrupt cop or whatever that was like partners with Gordon in Gotham, and I liked him a lot in that. He's been in a ton of stuff. I can't remember if it was this or The Patriot that was like one of his first really big roles in a movie, but I liked him in both this and The Patriot. He was really good. God, this fucking scene. Oh, there he is. A little creepy. I mean, it's so easy too. You just move slowly in a crowd where everyone's moving really fast, and you have that still camera, so it really emphasizes the stillness to the motion in the background. He could have made any face and it would have looked creepy. And there we go. Yeah, they said it's such a generic answer to something like this. But they said they used over 1,000 gallons, but like that's such a round number. But they said they used over 1,000 gallons of fake blood pumped through the sprinklers. And when they had to do different takes, like even though, you know, they stayed covered in blood and it didn't matter, like once they started filming these scenes, that was it. They were in this moment now, because to clean all these extras and to clean the set would have been near impossible. But they were like squeegeeing the floors. I watched a couple of clips that was really funny, squeegeeing the floors, and in between like setting up different shots in the club, the extras were wringing their clothes out so that they weren't weighed down, but also they looked like, you know, fresher, so they didn't just look like they were walking around in like big saggy clothes. And it was the fake blood was the mixture of corn syrup, so it had a lot of, everyone was a little sticky afterwards. It really does look a lot like blood though. Like the thickness is really good. Fucking Blade. The lighting too here in this scene is awesome because he's lit and they're not. So like really contrasts. You'll see in a second. Also how clean he is to how dirty they are. Like it's a really cool cut back and forth between the two of them, really to show the difference. See how he's lit and they're not. It's just, I like that. I love the cinematography of the whole movie, really. That guy's trying real hard in the front. Who wears grandma panties to a night at the club when you know you're going to get naked. I feel like that's silly. I don't know how I feel about yeah, there's only the one human for 200 vampires. How is that woman walking around New York City with the fucking ninja curly sword? I forgot what it's called. 2 of them. Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I was gonna say, I wanted to ask, what are your guys' feelings on vampire death? So, like, they get dusted, like in this, like in Buffy, like in a lot of stuff. Then there's, you know, the From Dusk Till Dawn, where they pop like a balloon, which was a little. It was for me, the popping like a balloon was a little too comedy for me. I actually kind of prefer when there's a body, but for like, if I was to write vampires, it would be, there would be a body when they died, but their body would revert back to the exact way it looked when they returned. So like, they wouldn't really have to de-age because they look the same, but it would shift, like, you know, subtle changes in makeup and stuff can make them look more innocent and things like that. But I would make them look like they looked just before they turned. But I like the idea of there being a body to contend with. Especially because like these dustings, like the CG is kind of, you know, it's 1996, 1997 when they made this. There's no dust afterwards. They're just gone. Except for the... I never understood that scene. It's cool. It's really cool. But I never understood how that... The physics of that batarang that played through there. Yeah, it's 98 when the movie came out. But, you know, I'm sure they didn't do the CG, you know, right up till the movie came out. So it was like, you know, 96, 97 when they were filming / editing and stuff. The practical effects, though, pretty awesome. Like him being pinned to the wall, the blood. Oh, kind of feel bad for him. He loses an arm. He gets lit on fire. He loses another arm. He shoots him in the crotch a bunch. Make sure he's... That guy's... No one's going to believe him. No one's going to believe that guy. He's going to have a really crazy story. Everyone's going to think he's crazy. And apparently Blade is Batman. I kind of... Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that. You know, like... Age catches up with them, almost like what's his face from Belloc from Indiana Jones. When he chooses poorly with the cup, he like super ages really quickly. I kind of like that. I don't know, like I'm trying to come up with like lore reasons for it in my head, and like the only thing that I can land on is like, when you kill the vampire, all that's left is the human. So you know, they turn back into a human. So the human remains, but the vampire is dead. So it's like back to the last time that being was human. I don't know. I like the idea of there being a body to contend with afterwards. Or at the very least, if they get dusted, now you got to explain, you know, why you got fucking whatever, you know, 20 pounds of ash just sitting there on the floor. Though, to be fair, like, even if they're thousands of years old, they're not going to be dust. Like, they'll just be shriveled, mummified corpses, no matter what. The And the reason the set designer and the costume designers, the reason why they did a rave in the beginning was because the set designer and the costume designers were huge into raves when they were doing this in LA and stuff like that. So they, that's why they picked a rave to do that opening scene in. And, you know, it's upbeat music. The other thing that I wanted to show too is two other actors that were considered for this role. So I got pictures of them from when they were considered for the role because, you know, it's been almost 20 years at this point. They look a little different, but one was actually, you know what? Let's see if you guys could get, no, you can just look it up. All right. I'll just show. All right. So one was, and I kind of am sad that he didn't do it, especially with this picture, Lawrence Fishburne. That's Lawrence Fishburne from 1998. I think he would have did great as Blade, but he just wouldn't have been funny, like where Blade is funny. Like he's got like he would have been where Blade is like cool and funny and like badass. Lawrence Fishburne would have been like stern and scary and like he would have been cool, but like a different kind of cool. He just gives a different vibe than Wesley Snipes does, I feel like. And the other one was other hugely famous black actor at the time, like really up and coming at that moment. Like he had been in a ton of stuff, but this was when he was really breaking out. He was in like over like from 1995 to like 2005, he was in like 25 movies, Denzel, and he would have also been great. But again, I don't think anyone could have done what Wesley did. Like, motherfucker, you out of your damn mind. Like, see, like we used to say shit like that. Like that's the line that we used to quote from Blade all the time. No one would get that shit. But then, you know, my friends and I would continue the quote like afterwards. I can't click on links that you guys share, Aaron. So I don't know what you want to show me there. Oh, who's that actor? Tim Guinea. Oh, I got you. It would have been funny if they did more crossovers with vampire stuff like they did with What We Do in the Shadows. If anyone has seen What We Do in the Shadows but hasn't seen the episode where there's a Blade crossover, Blade is canonically a vampire in the What We Do in the Shadows universe, which is fucking amazing. They have like a big council meeting and Blade is one of the members of the council and he is Blade, the Daywalker. It's fantastic. And it's Wesley Snipes in a Zoom call. You could tell he's like got really no idea what's going on, but it's funny. So CG wasn't that bad for 1998. Like, movie holds up. Like, the only thing that doesn't hold up about this movie, just like with any movie that was made in this time, the lack of cell phones. Like, the fact that there's a lack of cell phones, like, in the characters' hands and stuff, is the only anachronistic part about the movie that makes it feel like it's older, is the fact that no one has a cell phone. But the rest of the movie holds up. Oh, Tim Guinea, or Guinea, I think. Yeah, like guinea pig. That's what well, that's what I'm going to say until someone corrects me. And I'm Italian, so I could say it even if I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff, that guy. That he was, I think he was, yeah. Was he in that new? No, he wasn't. He's in that show that Jared Padalecki's in, the remake of Walker Texas Ranger. I think he was in an episode of that. But he's done a few vampire things. A lot of for some, I don't know what it is like about when people do vampire movies, they end up being in more than one. But especially like background actors, they end up doing it. Yeah, Walker. That's it. Not Wackler, but Walker. I got you. Wackler. Fucking love that car, man. Car is so sexy. I one change that I don't like that they made for the movie from the comic books was Blade's stakes. In the comic books, they were all made out of teak, like the wood teak, which is a very durable, like marine grade wood. It's antimicrobial. It's a holy wood in a lot of African cultures and a lot of Bohemian cultures, tropical cultures, because that's where the wood grows mainly. But it's highly, highly, highly moisture and bacterial resistant wood. You don't have to treat it at all. That's why a lot of boats, most wooden accents on boats and boats made out of wood are made out of teak or have a lot of teak on them for things like that. Especially decks are heavily teak. The only problem is they splinter very easily if they're not sanded smooth. But his stakes were made out of teak, so like they were a holy wood, and I always liked the idea of them being wooden stakes, but they made them like silver or metal or whatever in this. That's one of the things I wasn't really a big fan of. This was basically the only movie I knew Chris Christopherson from when I was younger. When I first saw this, was this. So he was always just Whistler for me. Every time I saw him in something else, I was like, "Oh, Whistler's in this movie." I wasn't a big fan of shit. What the fuck is the cowboy movie that he's in? That he's famous for, super famous for. I forgot, the old school cowboy movie. But I wasn't a big fan of that. I've never been a fan of Westerns. Yes, that is the guy from Gotham. We were talking about that before, Aaron. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm joking. Yeah, Donal something. Donal Logue or whatever. I've enjoyed movies and TV shows that are themed after Westerns, but there's not a lot of Westerns themselves that I like. The only one that comes to mind when I think of that is The Quick and the Dead. The Quick and the Dead is just such a good fucking movie. See, these are the types of scenes that I loved about this movie. This is one of the things that like the nerd in me really liked about this movie, was like wondering what the hierarchy was like with the vampires and like where their reaches went, what they were infiltrating in, and like the things that they were doing, and like what's this language that they speak. They seem to have this culture. I've always that's what always interests me with these types of movies. I'm gonna share the link to our Discord again so that you guys can join and follow the link, and you'll see how to join the watch party and stuff like that if you would like to do that. Sharing the link again. He's so badass. He's got a leather jacket and he's smoking cigarettes. That's all they had to do in the 90s to make someone look badass. I looked up, I wasn't a big Blade reader because I didn't know Blade existed back in the day. I wasn't a big comic book guy. But apparently one of the other big changes was Deacon Frost's character was like a much older vampire, and he was like a European aristocrat or something like that. But he was all about the pure blood vampires. So they kind of flip-flopped that for a younger audience, because a younger Deacon Frost, like Deacon Frost in the comics was basically that guy, the guy that's the head of this coven or whatever you want to call it. Also, how does pure blood vampire even work? You're born a vampire? How does that work? Like, I guess Blade was born a vampire. I have so many questions about the vampire law. We've talked about this before. I really, really like to see vampire lore and like how it works. Let's see, pure blood. As was every other member of this house. This house. Accent is so bad. Yeah. And it's got multitudes too, because there's Morbius and Blade and like it's all over the place. But if we didn't have Blade, we would have no MCU. We wouldn't have Marvel as a company, maybe even. Like Marvel could have got chopped up. Marvel was on the brink of bankruptcy when they sold the rights for distribution of Blade and partial for production, or licensed them out. They like the money they got from licensing out the rights for this movie saved Marvel as a company. They needed it. It was before Spider-Man, before everything. I don't know. His accent just sounds forced to me in that moment, but it could just be my like overly sensitive ear to like, it sounds like it's like emphasized like to be super like, I want you to know this character's German. Stereotypical, that's the word. It sounded too stereotypical, but I don't hear a lot of German, to be honest with you. Building up a resistance to the serum. What's the serum? There's so many questions. I have so many questions. See, this is another, like, this movie is a good example of how loose storytelling and stuff like that wasn't it like, because this is in like the time when people are asking those types of questions. I don't think if this movie came out today without the nostalgia, it would hold up, like, because it's a little bit weak like that with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of contradictions and stuff like that, but they tried, I guess, is the best. The martial arts that Blade does in this, that Wesley does in this, is all Wesley Snipes too. He's a very good martial artist. He's not a fighter. He'd be the first person to tell you that. Like, he says that in his thing. He doesn't try to pretend. He knows martial arts very well. He's very good at martial arts, but he's not a fighter. If you want to see some really interesting thoughts on that type of topic and stuff, look up Michael Jai White, do interviews and stuff. He's talked about that a lot. Wesley Snipes versus Adrian Paul. That would be a cool crossover if they did Highlander and Blade. That would be cool. This sword was made specifically for this too. They didn't have Blade. Another thing, Blade didn't usually have a katana, but all of the depictions of Blade after this movie, he's forever with a katana now. I feel like this chick hasn't done much since this. But she looks super familiar. Like, I feel like I've seen her in others, like in other perspectives, like in another movie, but I just never recognized her before because her face is pinging something in my head. But actually, you know what? She has not done a lot. She has 29 credits and she hasn't done anything since 2018. It looks like. Yeah, she hasn't done anything since 2018. Okay, so she hasn't been in that much. Wow, one of the last things, okay, she just went down a weird road. It looks like after the Chappelle show. Yeah, this is an interesting. Let me grab this. I'm gonna share a picture here. She did the Chappelle show and then did a string of progressively more Christian movies. It looked like He Say, She Say, but what does God say? God's Forgotten House, A Talent. Like, it just gets a little bit more Christian as it goes. And then she did nothing after 2018, which is kind of crazy. She's not a bad actor. Pretty good actor. She's very like, you know, she got a presence, especially with Wesley Snipes. She doesn't get overshadowed by Wesley Snipes at all in this film. I love he's filling up a gas tank. They show him spilling gas everywhere and then lights up a cigarette. That's how badass he is. That's just to show that he's badass. Doesn't care about the rules. The kids will love it. Hominis nocturna. That's the scientific term for vampire, if anyone's wondering. Just in case you want to cite it in like a paper or something. Mr. Crispy at the hospital. And they were going to build out Whistler's backstory in this a bit more, but they cut it. They cut his scene. Oh, and another scene they cut. This would have been Stanley's first cameo. He had a cameo. He was one of the cops that showed up in the beginning after the nightclub scene, but they cut his scene. But you're so big. We used to say that all the time too. We would just say random fucking quotes from this movie that had nothing to do with Blade. Like, but you're so big. Like, who would know that that's from Blade? Say that shit all the time. Basically any kind of quote that made us laugh in the movie or was obscure and like stupid, that would be the quote that we would use. And apparently Whistler comes from a long line of vampire hunters. See, like the hierarchy of the vampires would be so interesting. They own the police. They run the government. They have the money. She's pretty good looking too. I'm surprised she didn't do more, but apparently between Dave Chappelle and Blade, she decided she needed to find God and then not act anymore. Buy yourself a gun. You're in New York. You're not gonna be able to do that easy. And she's a doctor. Though I guess she has the money if anyone can do it. Oh, that's cool. Wesley Snipes is what? July, August then? August 1st, August 2nd? That means? Or is it July 31st? I don't remember. July 31st. How old is Wesley Snipes? He's got to be up there, right? Wesley Snipes? He's got to be at least in his 60s, right? Yeah, 63. Okay. Fucking love Wesley Snipes. So many good movies too. I used to love all of his like he did a bunch of movies with Woody Harrelson. He did like 4 movies with Woody Harrelson. Apparently him and Woody were really good friends. Money Train, White Man Can't Jump. So many fucking hilarious movies. I love Wesley Snipes. I mean, Demolition Man, just by itself. It's another fucking great. Oh, he's crazy? No. What's he crazy about? Is he like a flat earther or some shit? Yeah, math is not easy to do. I hate math. I hope Gnome said Wesley is a little crazy now. That's sad. I guess when you get old and You've been rich for so long. And then he went to prison because of the whole tax. I don't know. I feel bad. He's so pretty. So weird. So creepy. I wonder how much, like, his performance is like improv. Because, like, that face touch was so icky. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember Wesley Snipes turning into a fucking prepper. That's crazy. I remember he got arrested and went to jail for like tax evasion or whatever, but that I don't remember him ever really being in like the news. Let's see. Is Wesley Snipes crazy? What's the deal with this? He's found guilty on 3 misdemeanor charges, tax evasion, blah, 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 blah. Why is he crazy? That was what culminated in the tax. Okay. I mean, I guess he's better now? Because Nick, he's doing good and he's like not in jail and out and doing stuff. I don't know. I feel like people wouldn't want to work with him as much as they have been if he was still crazy. So hopefully he's not crazy anymore. From the conversations that Ryan Reynolds had with him that he posted, those Band-Aids, the 2 Band-Aids on the necks with the dot of blood is so ridiculous. Such a ridiculous choice for this scene. Like, I feel like the makeup artist was like, we don't have time to put the bite wound on her. And they were like, oh, we got to film right now, but we got to put the bite wound on. Just put 2 Band-Aids on with blood on it. What was the... So cheesy. It's just so cheesy. 2 separate Band-Aids. Dot of blood. It's so cheesy. I wonder if mace would affect vampires. I liked her decor in her apartment. I like her apartment. I remember remarking on that earlier today when I was watching this. Yeah, I enjoy the aesthetic of her apartment and that fan from 1905 that's there. That fan was in my grandmother's house for 100 years. That's the fan that was in my grandmother's house from when she bought the house in 1892. Fucking fan. Just a safe in the hallway. That's a huge apartment for Manhattan too. That apartment would be insanely expensive in Manhattan. Though she is a hematologist, so I guess. Ooh, we might be getting a visitor. Come here. No, she's going to her window seat. Karen Jensen. Such a generic name. The clothing in this movie is a little crazy too. Like, I don't know what time of year it is because this guy, he's wearing his winter coat. But then, like, when you go outside, it doesn't look like it's... I don't remember there being snow. And everyone else looks like... No one else is dressed for winter. I'm not a vampire. Huh? Huh? Fucking Blade. The faces, he smacked him in the face. It's fucking hilarious. That's the type of shit that Wesley Snipes puts in. Oh, I haven't heard that in 100 years. That was the most New York thing I've ever. Is all that necessary? She's deaf. That girl's like, I feel like from New York for sure. Deacon Frost. I never liked Deacon Frost, even as a kid. Like, he never seemed cool to me. Like, I know he's like appealing and stuff, but like, I never liked him. You think we fund this organization? See, is little things like that I love too. Stealing from the familiars and the vampires so that they could pay for their stuff. Like, I like that little detail. You know what it makes me think of too? If anyone has read the Dresden Files, one of the running bits throughout the entire series is that it costs money to be a wizard, to do spells. Like, spell components are expensive, and sometimes he needs pure copper and pure gold and silver and like special wood and things like that. And that shit costs money. So sometimes he has to make cheap, crappy knockoff, equipment to use on like, going to hunt black court vampires, which are like zombie vampires, essentially. There's different flavors of vampire in Dresden Files. Neath it. The trigger. Fucking love this movie. You're useless. Another one that we used to say all the time. It's so, you're useless. It's so fucked up and hilarious. Yeah, well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, in White Wolf's thing, the familiars are magically like bound to the vampires too. It's not just that they call them ghouls, like they get like fucked up. It's more like Renfield in like Dracula, where he like turns into like a ghoul looking thing. How is he sitting in that? How is he sitting in the car with the sword on his back? Does the sword bend? Does it stab into the chairs? Is the back of his car seat just riddled with the holes and cut open because he's got the sword on sitting in the car? I like how this is filmed too. The cinematography in this movie is very interesting to me. Yeah, see, they're fed vampire blood and they get like, hey, what's up, Arosa? Arosa, we're watching Blade tonight, and we are joining the Dragonmount Discord with this link. And there's a way to follow along with the movie in there if you go there. I promise. They're predators. See, like, I think it would, first of all, the pleather pants are a little much for me, but also I think it would have stood out better if they kept the stakes wood. They just would have looked cooler. I don't like the silver stakes. Plus, if that whole stake was made out of silver, it would be insane. It should have been like a little silver tip on the end of a wooden stake. Talk about how expensive. If that whole stake was made of silver, it would take their whole budget just to make one of them stakes. Kado. I love how we took the glasses. It's just that little bit of attitude that Blade has. Always, I love it. Ah, this song too. He used to sing this song. My friend Chris used to sing this just randomly. He knew, like, he can imitate this. Got to go to that Asian bar. They're all wearing sunglasses. It's hilarious. Most of the Japanese in this scene is gibberish too, by the way. Another thing they don't really get away with nowadays like they used to back in the day. Most movies back in the day, when it was like an American action movie like this, especially when people spoke other languages, it was gibberish. That just sounded, Japanese or Chinese or whatever they want to make it sound like. One of the most famous ones is all of the German in Die Hard is not German. That face too. Yeah. It's just a little bit of attitude that Wesley gives to it is. It's in the fridge. You need me fast. Another thing that we used to say all the fucking time. This whole scene when he roasts this fucking vampire in the basement. So fucking funny. How does a vampire get fat on blood? Or does he eat food and he gets fat like that? And does that mean vampires have like a human metabolism still? Like, it's so weird. Like, the lore is just, the way it works just boggles my mind. Pearl. Fucking Pearl. So fucking funny. How, I don't know how you could hide the construction of an elevator that goes down this deep in Manhattan. Crazy. See, even scenes like this would still hold up because, like, the technology is obviously would be outdated, but you can't tell from just a server room. In 1998, they were like, this server room holds 2 terabytes of information. Now my cell phone can have 10 terabytes in it. This big. Not really. But like something the size of my cell phone can. Like a hard drive, a fucking 5 terabyte hard drive can be like this big. Fucking NVMe drives are like a potato chip. I have one in my computer that's 10 terabytes. I like how they have just armored curtains over their windows. Yeah, that's true. It's more of a magical curse in the Marvel universe than it is a dead and undead type thing. Yeah, the rubber ducks in the pool were a good touch. And look, they actually use AI to translate things now the exact way that they just did this on that old school Apple Macintosh that he's using. But they actually use AI to translate things like that now. Like they've translated the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that with AI. But it's even cooler than that. They have scrolls that are thousands of years old that they can't unroll. But with X-ray, different types of X-ray technology, they can X-ray it and read the ink on the pages, even though it's still rolled up and together. It's really cool. And then they use AI to decipher it like that. There he is. Oh, no. That's not Donald Logue. La Magra, they said. Not Viagra. There he is, Donald. In the Blade lore, La Magra is like the blood deity, the blood god, the vampire god, the patron god of vampires. It's literally the same religious type beliefs as like Christianity, except for the vampires. I don't think they're based on any real deities or anything like that. Yes, you're right. See, like I'm for AI as a tool, and that's really all it's going to be. As of right now, the current state of AI is not anything to be afraid of for most things, because it just can't replicate it. It can't produce its own thing. It can only replicate based on things that it's learned. So it's never going to be able to do anything wholly new yet. So I'm not really worried about it now. But using it as a tool is 100% good, because it's you know, it does wonders for disabled people, and immensely helpful for people, you know. Oh God, Pearl's so ugly. Still don't get it. How do they get fat? Oh God, so gross. So gross. That voice too. The video conferencing though. I'm always curious to see what it says. Connected to, it didn't say. Like, I wanted to see if it said like a program name or something silly. No, that's nothing. That voice, so icky. The guy that played Pearl 2 obviously looks nothing like that. But I have a picture of him. It's a really funny picture too, actually. I don't know why it's funny to me, but it made me laugh when I saw it. I think it's the contrast. We also used to imitate this scene. Okay, this is the guy that plays Pearl, by the way. Eric Edwards. Let's see, where else might you know him from? Not much, actually. Been in a ton of stuff, but he played Spanky's dad in the Little Rascals, the one that came out in '94. Oh, it's so gross. That's got to smell so bad. Damn, girl. Getting a little sociopathic-y there. He moved. Kind of looked like they left him alive. I was hoping that he would come back in Blade 2. I remember when Blade 2 got announced, my friends and I were like, oh my God, I hope Pearl comes back as like this burnt, crazy looking hulking vampire and fights Blade. Yeah, I mean, it's just the, oh yeah, and the for back to AI for a sec, yeah, the environmental impact is the big thing for sure. That's my main concern about the AI. Because companies they're already starting to steer away from using AI in a lot of stuff because of the hallucinations and mistakes it makes, and always giving favorable responses to things. So like it's not trustworthy for things that are like legally binding and like important things. So a lot of companies are adapting it in small areas and using it in others. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as people think it's going to be. I love the idea of these scrolls. This scene is a little weird. Running around with the cutting of the cameras. Hola, amigo. Damn, that was a nice kick. I wonder who that little girl is. Bonnie Adams. Oh, and it's Ibani because it's an I at the end. It's Ebony, but I said Ibani. I didn't even think Ebony at first because I don't know. It just looks so off to me. And you know, obviously we know Ebony, our Ebony. Oh, I know her. Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff. She was, yeah, that's right, the Lincoln Lawyer. I seen her in the Lincoln Lawyer. I love the new Lincoln Lawyer TV show. It's really good. Oh, eat the dirt. Boop. He felt that one. I really think this is where he's shown though, because like his other stuff before this, he wasn't, the character he was playing wasn't very uh animated, and like he didn't have a chance to do different ranges. And in this role, he's like a sniveling follower, a challenging peer, a vampire, a victim of getting his arm cut off and injured. And he does a lot of range in this movie. This is where I was like, this guy's a great actor. Damn, Whistler. Whistler's packing the heat. Another thing we used to say all the time, catch you fuckers at a bad time, just walk into a party and just say that. Or just walk into my friend Hub's house. Like we used to hang out at my friend Rob's house all the time and quote this movie specifically. So many bullets. So many bullets. Mm-hmm. Think I'd let him run loose without a chaperone? I would never, like, for anyone who's ever traveled in the subway in New York, God, I could only imagine what that area smells like. See, there's the CG's a little weak there. It actually kind of reminds me of the explosion in the first Mission Impossible movie at the end when the helicopter blows up. Just the fire. Fire always looks wonky and a little silly. Wow, that's surprising. I mean, obviously, I mean, I grew up in the city. I grew up just outside of Manhattan, so I used to take the train all the time. There was a train straight into Manhattan, took 35 minutes, 40 minutes. We would go into Manhattan all the time. Also, never call it Manhattan. Like, I only call it Manhattan here and like here in Florida and on, you know, lives and stuff, because if I just say the city, people know what I'm talking about. But like, if you ever go, here's a little tidbit for if you ever go to New York, never call it Manhattan. Only call it the city. Like, oh, you going to the city? How long you been in the city? Just say the city. Ooh. See, that was good. The practical effects in this are very good. Fuck, another arm cut off. Wesley also argued about having the sword on his back like that because it's not practical, and like a warrior wouldn't do that. And you just saw kind of the reason why, where he went to go sheathe it, even though he sheathed it really smoothly and fast, how he had to reach behind his back, which would have been really slow and unwieldy to do in a fight, and hold it steady to sheathe it. It's dislocated. Yeah, let me get you back for when you put mine in without asking. She didn't even make that much noise. The I don't know. I'm trying to, like, as we watch this, I keep trying to picture Denzel or Lawrence Fishburne in these scenes, and it really would have just changed this whole movie. I'm something else. Is he playing a vampire soon? That's interesting. I fucking love Lawrence Fishburne. I remember looking up him uh, a while ago to be like, oh, what's he doing? Because I miss seeing him and stuff. If you want to follow along with our watch party, by the way, if anyone is joining in, let me share a link to our watch party where you can find the watch party. Right there. There you go. In the original cut, she got this explanation when she first woke up in their place after they rescued her. And she learned about the Daywalker stuff and all that. But they had to reshoot a lot of this movie after they finished it, including the end, because it didn't test well with the audiences. The original ending was just like boring, apparently. They said there wasn't a lot of information on it that I saw, but that doesn't really matter. They reshot it, did the really cool sword fight scene at the end with the La Magra stuff and Deacon Frost being all Super Saiyan vampire or whatever you want to call it. There's been so many different iterations of Whistler too. Like, he was a vampire in some and cured in others, and still a vampire, also a Daywalker, never a vampire, from a long line of vampire hunters, or this story. And this movie, another thing that this movie does, which is, you know, depending on, oh yeah, bot, nice, first bot of the evening, is they have a very clear cut villain, good guy. There's no gray area. It's not like, you know, there's no dilemma here. You kill the vampires, there's no good ones, and that's it. I feel like if this movie came out today too, there would be a whole dichotomy behind, do we just kill them? Are there any good ones? Things like that. Boop. We went up a digit. We usually don't go over an hour. I feel like I owned that jacket back in the day. Those jackets were a staple when I was younger. Like the old school starter jackets or the puffy jackets. That's not what those are, but it's similar. Like everyone, I remember everyone having that jacket for a while with that pattern. That fucking arm. What is she tie? What is? Damn. Ooh. See, this is a good scene. Another time that fucking Donald Logue shining. Shh, 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 shh. He it was his choice apparently to play like this role, like the calm, cool, collected version of Deacon Frost, which is interesting. The way they remade the character for this movie is really smart for a lot of reasons, but mainly for the marketing to young goth kids who were into dudes. Be you know, however you identify. But that's definitely who they were targeting with Deacon Frost. Because, like I said, originally he was an older European aristocrat vampire that was all about purebloods. I'm sharing the link to our watch party again, just in case anyone wants to pop in. Fucking sunscreen. It's ridiculous. Just wear sunscreen to fucking go out in the sun as a vampire. And how does this pureblood who's never seen a sunrise in his life have that good of a tan? He can't go in UV light either, because we know UV light fucks them up too. Got some good ass tan though. I like how the smoke is coming from his clothes, but not his skin at all. Like his face is fine still. They're putting some makeup on it, but there's no burning. Where's the burning coming from that there's smoke? God, he's so pale. Oh, he's got the slash in his eyebrow. Been doing that for a while. I didn't realize that. I like how they call like the purebloods and then they call them a disease or bacteria. Like, what does it matter about being a pureblood if fucking they're not any stronger, they're not any better? Like, it's the same kind of dumb prejudice that we have. Have a nice day. Little too long in the tooth. Fucking, you know that little bit at the end there with Donal was added in. Oh God, that's a little rough. See, he's not even burning. He's kind of, that happened. There's the burning. Okay, yeah, it was a little gory. Yeesh. And then the pop. I feel like the pop was a little much. I feel like we didn't need the pop. I feel like it would have been good without the pop. I wonder what language they tried to. They didn't do that. They didn't try to base. They just said, say gibberish that sounds like another language. How did he repair the bulletproof vest that quickly? It had bullet holes in it. Not holes, but. Does it actually smell like shit, or does it smell like a vampire shit? Like, I have so many questions, Whistler. How do you know what a vampire's ass smells like? Like, so many questions. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assumption to make, Noman Garden. I think I want to say the articles that I read that it was primarily filmed. I don't remember. I wrote it down. I think it was mostly filmed in LA. Oop. Yeah, that wouldn't be good to happen in his bloodstream. I can blow some vampire heads up. It's a good idea. Yeah, it was LA. Yeah, I'm sure they did a little bit in Canada, but it was mostly in LA. Apparently they filmed a lot of the sets in I can't say that, abandoned shampoo factory in Northern California. That's where most of these types of scenes were filmed. Like, they didn't even need to do any set design. They just, like, you know, set up over in a corner of the factory and clean out the garbage. Now I got to see if we could spot any shampoo, anything that marks the factory as a shampoo factory. Everything in there looks just like vague technology of the time. Oh, she graduated up to the little spot band-aids. Yeah. That is not healing well. Definitely should get that checked out. Put a little cocoa butter on that. Oh, we didn't catch it in time. There was a really funny outtake scene that Wesley Snipes, it would have been a really funny outtake to see, but they didn't, you know, I looked through all the outtakes. There weren't any really, really good ones. And this one wasn't there, but Wesley Snipes said at the end when Whistler is injured and he's got blood all over him, Wesley Snipes, you'll see him, he has like a gauze pad and he's just trying to like save him with his gauze pad. And Wesley Snipes couldn't stop laughing in that scene because it was so ridiculous. And they had to like stop and reshoot that scene a bunch of times. This is where What's Her Face got the idea for glistening vampires. I mean, sparkling vampires. Deacon Frost sparkling in the sun as a vampire long before Edward Cullen. There we go. Another random vampire power, growing your fingernails at the drop of a hat whenever you want. How does that equate with your vampire power? I don't know. Daywalker. Though, as inconspicuous as Blade could be because, you know, he can pass as a human whenever he wants, motherfucker walking around, like, he wouldn't look off walking around Manhattan like he is if he wasn't wearing the gloves. It's the gloves that makes him look off. No one walks around in black leather gloves like that. Like, if you got that whole leather suit on, people are like, but if you also had the gloves on, people would be like, why are you wearing gloves? It's weird. 100%. It's the gloves that make him look weird. Pieces of meat. This was also they had a scene storyboarded for what they want the ultimate plan for the humans to be, which Sam Neill vampire movie. I think was it called Daywalkers? I forgot the name of it. Fucking not the guys that I always forget his name was the main character. Ethan Hawke was the main character. It was Willem Dafoe was in it. Ethan Hawke. Daybreakers. That's it. They do that idea in Daybreakers, and I think they stole it from Blade, where it's like they got humans hanging up in plastic bags and they're like farming their blood. They keep them alive. Your makeup's running. Blade also made Oakley's cool, I feel like, at this moment. Everyone wanted a pair of Oakleys. Ooh. Is this the holy water gun? Yep. Again, physics make absolutely no sense. Damn! See, like in movies, they usually don't hurt kids like that, and like why are holy water bullets making sparks on concrete? But he tossed that kid through that fucking thing. Oh, that was funny. And she's fine. Kids are resilient. They just bounce right back. That girl gets home. The mother's like, why are your clothes dirty? A vampire threw me through a hot dog cart. That would not go over well. She doesn't have a choice. She does not want to be a vampire because then they'll kill her without thought. Yeah, Chris Christopherson also said that they filmed a couple of different endings too. One where he turned into a vampire and Blade hunted him to Moscow. Like he ends up in Moscow at the end of this movie, like in like the mid-credit or just before the credit scene. And it was Blade hunting him who was running away from Blade. But they cut it. They didn't say why, just said they cut it and reshot it. Why did the shotgun hurt these vampires? I guess they could not be vampires. It is daytime outside. Yeah, obviously they're not vampires if he's a vampire. So they send the human fodder in to get messed up first. There's a little bit of a New Line Cinema meta in this movie too. I noticed it when I was watching it before. I think it did already happen. It was during another fight scene in the party when Deacon kills the cop familiar. Mortal Kombat was on the TV in the background. I thought that was fun. I'm going to reshare the link to our Discord, so if anyone wants to hop in, they can, because I saw a couple of new people popped into the stream. And you could follow along and watch with us. Yeah, familiar, Deacon Frost. How convenient. I'm trying to, so they filmed this in an old abandoned shampoo factory. So I keep looking in the background to see if like any of the machines shout abandoned shampoo factory to me. I don't know what that would be, but also they need all these machines to make shampoo. There he is. Ultimately, they decided to bring Whistler back in the later movies. Like, he's not dead. He is turned, and Blade doesn't kill him, and he doesn't kill himself, apparently. I think he, like, suddenly... Oh, yeah, you see his eyes moving now. There he goes. I think it would have been more poignant if he had just, like, coughed suddenly to wake up or something. The practical effects are pretty good. Yeah, here he goes. He's wiping just dabbing the blood on that side of his neck with a gauze. Like, what are you doing, Blade? What are you doing? Just clean up that little spot. Just this one spot. It's okay. It's all right, Whistler. Don't worry. Hold on, just let me dab. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? What is he doing right now? Just this one little gauze pad, just holding it. It's not even like staunching the blood or anything. It's just, he's just lightly wiping. He's just smearing it around too. It's, I don't know the direction on this scene. I don't know what, I'm not surprised that that Wesley Snipes couldn't do this scene. Because it is ridiculous. Chris Christopherson is also old, man. I haven't seen him in anything in a long time. Is he still alive, Chris? I don't remember him dying. No, he is dead. He died last year, 88. Yeah, he was old. That's sad. He died last year. Yeah, that's fair. Like just them standing there talking and him standing there quietly brooding without saying anything would be. They had to do something with his hands, I guess. It's still silly. Leaving it undecided is such like a cop out so that they can, yes, he did die, or no, he didn't die, to their content. Like, you know, they have this character in their pocket if they want to use him again. Creatively smart, but I always felt like it was weak for the story because it's more poignant to, like, for pardon the pun, pull the trigger, which apparently he doesn't do. He put up quite a fight. Uh-oh. Oh, I love... See, like, the ghoul, her friend, when we see him, we'll see him in a second. Her friend that she sees in, like, the pit that they throw her in when they go to the place. That is my thought of what a ghoul is more. Like, you know, kind of zombie-esque looking. There you go. Gotta make sure no one gets any glaucoma in this room. What's up, String? Just in case you don't have the link for the watch party, I'll share it again. Join us. It's a really cool looking plant there. This is also something that Wesley put into the movie himself a little bit. The Japanese imagery and things like that. That this is a Wesley Snipes addition. Apparently, the cutting of that plant is symbolic for warriors going out to war. Now I feel old. I did that once. I think the movie that I did that to, and I was older too. I was like 16 or 17, but I didn't have, like, we took the bus. I didn't have a car or license at that time in New York. You couldn't drive until you were 18 in New York anyway. I think I did it with that DMX Jet Li movie. Something, I don't think it was Romeo Must Die. No, it was Jet Li and DMX. I don't remember the name of the movie though. But I remember DMX runs up a wall in the movie and two Doberman pinchers chase him up the wall. And that's just like a normal kung fu move that he does in the movie. You could tell DMX grew up watching like old school kung fu movies because he was definitely Cradle of the Grave. That's what it was called. Yeah. I was like, for some reason, I kept thinking dead in my head. Like I had something dead in the title. Grave. I like how she instantly knew the button to press with him. Transmitted disease. Those eyes are so fucking blue. apparently the original creators of Blade had a fight to get their name on this, but they didn't really have any hand in the making of the movie, but they came up with the character. I'm glad they got credit in the credits for that. Though so like I said before, this movie saved, and I want to say it again now that there's more people here. This movie saved Marvel. At the time, Marvel was going bankrupt, and the money that they made licensing this movie out, and then the money that the movie made, saved the company of Marvel. They might not even be a company right now had they not gotten the money from this movie. In most movies, vampires, I feel like, feed on animals too. I'm not sure what it's like in this universe. I feel like Blade would do that if he could, instead of this serum thing. You guys are, shut the fuck up. I love that scene. But you know, like that's like the type of idea that would make a really interesting story of vampires dealing with their own like overzealousness and dealing with their own kind and like not over hunting humans, like, and it would be a really interesting book, setting it in like a, you know, a different time and alternate Earth type thing where vampires are the dominant species. You mean like animalistic vampires? They have a place. I don't like solely animalistic vampires in a movie, but like having them as like a breed of vampire is fine. I kind of like that idea. Dresden Files does that too, and I know The World of Darkness also does that. In Dresden Files, it's the Black Court. They're like the Nosferatu type vampire. They look monstrous and are more animalistic in their sociology and nature. It's a little ridiculous. I feel like they made this a little too comical, the way they swell up and explode like that. I feel like that should have been a little bit more reserved, a little too ostentatious for me. You know, Deacon made this room. He designed this room. You know he did. I want one room to be just white, everything white. I want a mirror in the corner. The camera on the mirror? Like, what the fuck? Also, this fucking bed is ridiculous. I remember as a kid being like, I want that bed. Never, like, how does it open? Like, how does the top go up? It's got to have something in the wall, but you don't see no track in the wall neither. It's crazy. Crazy. Mama. Eric. Her name on the license that they had of her earlier, her name was Vanessa Brooks. So his name is Eric Brooks. That's scary. I'm glad you're here to report that, String. That's one animal I would never fuck with. I would want to. Like, I want to hug a bear so bad. They look so snuggly. But yeah. One animal I would never want to fuck with. Yeah, I've seen those bunker beds. I've seen the bunker ones, and I've seen the earthquake ones that like have like a trap door almost in them, and they like, you fall into like under the bed and it closes like a fucking cocoon on you. Those are for earthquakes. So he turned Blade's mom. Technically, is Blade's vampire dad. Oof, that during a salmon run too. Like I would assume they would be, depending on when you caught them in the feeding, could be very territorial in that moment. Like, you know, if they're hungry, you know, like if you get them before they ate, it's probably gonna be a way different attitude than if you encounter them after they've eaten. Mm-hmm. The serum's starting to wear off. Here's another easy way to film a scene. Just make it really foggy and blast some lights through the fog. And then, you know, you don't really have to do too much in the background to dress stuff up. Thanks, Norman Garden. Just suddenly have these they didn't say if they were traveling. Like, where are these ruins that they have here like this? Like, this has got to be like Afghanistan or Iraq or something, right? Because like that's the oldest area of like Mesopotamia area is the oldest area of civilization. So my uncle used to go, was a big hunter when he was alive, and he used to do strictly bow hunting, and he used to go bear hunting with a bow, and he used to be like, you should come. I'm like, no, no, I don't want to encounter a bear with a bow and arrow. This is the 21st century. I want a gun. I'm not ashamed to say I wouldn't want to fight a bear with a bow and arrow. I like how they just got the weirdest looking people, like to play these elder vampires. It's weird looking, like everyone has like this weird aesthetic. Like that guy has his own little weird aesthetic. We got the monkish looking guy. Everyone just looked like, except for that one. You know what? That one white dude with the beard and the big hair. But everyone else just looks like all the other white dudes look like generic white dude. But everyone else has like a weird little. They just look like quirky. I do want to hug the bear. You are correct. Yeah, man, he was crazy. My uncle was a crazy dude. Not really. Like he was. I mean, he didn't come off crazy. He was very stoic and quiet. He was like, you know, stereotypical like gruff mountain man looking kind of guy. But yeah, he did strictly bow hunting. He didn't like guns, and he used to go for bear. He used to go for gator, crocodile hunting. Mountain lions, bobcats, coyotes, everything. And he ate everything that they killed. I could hunt. I could hunt for sure. Like if I had to. I don't think if I had to, not just for sport. Like I don't think I could do it for sport, to tell you the truth. Like I wouldn't want to kill, like if I had a deer in my sights, I don't think I would be able to kill it. Just for no reason, just for funsies. Like if I was in the post-apocalypse and we needed to do it to eat, for sure. But like, though deer, on the other hand, I hate them because they're the fucking, deer are basically big rats in the forest. That's all they are. They eat all the plants, and if they aren't checked, they can destroy an ecosystem. The deer, the overpopulation of, look up, you want to see a really interesting thing? There's a documentary on it somewhere. I'm sure you could find it if you look it up. But there's a really interesting thing that happened in Yellowstone Park when the wolves were hunted out / chased away by the farmers around Yellowstone Park. The overpopulation of deer in the park destroyed the park. And when they reintroduced wolf to the park, not only did it cull the deer and like, you know, everything grew better, but like the forest regenerated, and it changed the face of the park like physically. It moved rivers because the deer weren't around. Other animals started to flourish because there was more foliage, and then other animals were able to come in to hunt those animals and to eat bugs and things. And it brought beavers back into the area, which dammed up spots of rivers. So just introducing wolves to cull the deer population greatly improved Yellowstone. But they also used to eat my hibiscuses in front of my house, my old house, and I would chase them away. On Long Island some years, so a lot of people don't know this, but like Long Island is very rural, like the further out west you go. I'm sure if you're not from the area, but you have heard the term the Hamptons, like where the rich people live out on the island. That's very rural, very farmland and stuff like that. And there's a lot of foresty areas, and there's a lot of deer. And when the deer would start to, but there's no like coyotes or wolves or bobcats or bears or anything like that. So there's nothing to hunt them. So when they would start to get overpopulated, the state government would call in FBI snipers to come and cull the deer population. And they would give the meat to like the local butchers would butcher them, and then they would give the meat to like homeless shelters and stuff, which was pretty cool. So this guy is who I picture when I picture a ghoul for a vampire. Also, another great vampire movie that I love the lore of the vampires in, and I feel like gets slept on all the time. Vampire in Brooklyn with my man Eddie Murphy. Like, fucking love that movie. It's such a good comedy and like horror vampire movie at the same time. Like it's like two separate movies almost. The editing of that movie is really interesting. If you've never seen Vampire in Brooklyn, watch Vampire in Brooklyn. It's good. It's legitimately like a decent movie, and it's funny, and it's Eddie Murphy. Karen! We also used to shout Karen at each other, my friends. We quoted the most random lines from this movie. You're useless. Deacon Frost is obsessed with like being inside of a giant block of stone. His bed, this fucking thing. I feel like this is so impractical to drain somebody of their blood. There's easier ways. That's all I'm saying. Such an impractical device here. Oh, fucking Idris Elba. Wait, Ultraviolet was the first time you saw Idris Elba? That's crazy. What year was Ultraviolet? 2000. Was that vampires? I guess. They weren't really. Were they vampires in that? Didn't they call them something else? Something weird? Like something phage or something like that? I don't remember. I remember that movie being a little weird, I feel like. Code 5, okay. Vampires are my people now. They're your people too. Wasn't that like one of Mila Jovovich's first like big star roles where she's like the main character? Yeah, they never used the word vampire, yeah. They called them something weird. Hemophage. That was gross. Psychologically, Blade is fucked up. Like this, especially with this, it's just fucked up. Yeah, yeah. My claustrophobia is activating a little bit. I would not want to be inside that thing. Oh, I didn't realize they did a TV series, actually, to tell you the truth. Okay. Now I want to go check out the TV series with Idris Elba. Like, I don't remember. Like, when you said that he was in Ultraviolet, I didn't remember him in the movie, but I just assumed I was misremembering it and that you were right because Nomen Garden, come on. But yeah, no, I didn't even know they did a TV series. Now I got to check that out. I got to see if it's streaming anywhere. Creepy ass bitch kissing your son. That was creepy. I don't like it. I don't like it. Why are these pure-blooded, like, I would assume some of the most powerful vampires on the planet listening to these people with guns? Like, I guess they could have silver or holy water bullets too still. But still, like, they say the culling of the pure-blooded elder vampires, I always felt like was too easy in this movie. I always wanted more out of them. No, just digging my way out with a human femur bone. Don't worry about me. I was looking for like DVD commentary for this to see if they had like a director's commentary version of it, because I love watching those. And I saw that they had one of the things that I really miss about DVDs is when they would hide like Easter eggs and like the DVD menus and stuff like that. And they had one in one of the editions of the movie. They had like a La Magra mode or whatever that you could click on, and it would change like the theme of the HUD on the UI on the DVD menu and stuff like that. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but the femur is stronger, especially if she's using it as like a climbing. It's almost like a pinton. She's using it as like a climbing pinton. Bitch, he needs all those purebloods for the spell. Could you imagine now he can't do the spell? I would be so mad if I was deaconing her. Like, can you stop? They're my spell components. You know how long it took me to get these spell components? Blade. Also, now, you know, when you hear people call him Blade to his face like that, like in moments like this where it's like, it sounds a little weird. It sounds a little like pretentious. Blade. Just call me Blade. What's your name? Blade. It's a little silly. The Breed. Yeah, I liked The Breed. The Breed this is another movie that like I said, I like weird vampire movies. It was a little off the wall. Michelle Rodriguez, I think. Yeah, that was the Michelle Rodriguez one. But the what was the one that I really liked when I was younger? I can't remember. There was a lot of, like I said, I like the different takes on vampire lore. Oh, Dracula 2000. There's so many of those like bad ones. I don't remember which. It was Dracula something, and it was Dracula was Judas. Interesting take. That's happened before, but I think it was Dracula 2000. And then there was the Dracula movie came out 10 years ago. Dracula is like a military leader. I don't remember what it was called. I think Dracula Untold. I liked that one too. That was another good one. That was an interesting one. Luke Evans was Dracula in it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Ultraviolet. Yeah. I mean, I love Adrian Paul. I used to watch uh the Highlander show religiously. Loved the Highlander show. Whatever happened to Adrian Paul? I haven't seen him in anything since that. But I guess like, I'm sure he made his money. He probably could retire from acting if he wanted to. And I actually also liked the crossover movies, like the later movies they made. I enjoyed them. They weren't good, but I enjoyed them. Very violent and like a little sexual. Oh, okay. I like the Arrowverse, man. There's rumors right now, by the way. I couldn't confirm it, but I saw people talking about it on TikTok. Grant Gustin is going to be returning as Flash for the DCU. Rumors, though. Rumors. I think that would be awesome. The drip of the blood was a nice addition there. That is way more than a drop of blood that landed on his head. Just saying. Made it look like a drop. Well, don't know if you know, but this is how Lumagra travels around through lightning. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty cool little ritual thing that they do here. I wonder if he'll make I think Adrian Paul should make a cameo in the new Highlander movie. I think that would be fun. Me too. I really hope they make Grant Gustin Flash again. Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, you could tell all the actors were just done with it after that too. Pretty much all of the shows, the actors were just done, except for maybe the Heroes of Tomorrow. Like that was still halfway decent. It was entertaining. It wasn't painful to watch. Like I didn't want to stop watching it. The Flash and Green Arrow and all that stuff after COVID, it was just toward the end of all of those shows, the actors really seemed like they didn't want to be there. Legends of Tomorrow. That guy tried a little hard, a little too much. They were like, oh yeah, okay, shake and look like you're in pain. What if I just snot all over the side of my face too? Sure, go ahead. That guy was trying real hard. If he didn't get his SAG card before this, I hope he got it in this movie for that snot on the side of his face. Did you know every pure-blooded vampire has a tiny little skeleton demon living inside them? Didn't know if you knew that. Yes. That I really liked about that show. They never took themselves too seriously, but they still told a story while being tongue-in-cheek about all their nonsense that they did, which I liked. CG here is a little weak too. So like most of this movie holds up though. Like most of this movie holds up really, really well. I like what they do with his eyes too in this scene. The red. He does look really cool for the rest of this. So what? We have a meat suit that's held together by calcium rocks that's powered by electricity. Super Saiyan vampire. See, but in this universe, it's Vegeta that went Super Saiyan, and then I feel like if we had to pick a character, it would be Piccolo. Blade is definitely Piccolo. First iteration of the superhero landing in a Marvel movie, Blade, 1998. I also like that they kill him like this. Like sometimes quick deaths like that are anticlimactic and like they feel cheap, but that was perfect. It was funny. It made sense because that guy's not like a kung fu fighter and Blade's like amazing. So I like it. It took them like a month to reshoot the end of this movie with all starting from the fight scene into the sword fighting scene, because the original ending was apparently very boring. The fight scene was much shorter and there was a lot of exposition, and it did not test well with audiences. So Wesley Snipes apparently did a lot of the choreography for this too. Which isn't surprising. Oh, and originally Jet Li was supposed to be the part of Deacon Frost, which I feel like would have been a much cooler fight. But he turned it down to do Lethal Weapon 4, which they shot at the same time. I liked him in Lethal Weapon 4, though. Sucks that yeah, the music sounds a little weird. It's probably due to the like, you know, they probably had to edit this last, obviously, because they had to do a lot of reshoots and they probably just didn't have a good time to mix everything properly. Oh, the hit sounds. Yeah, the same thing. All the sounds sound rough. Apparently they are allergic to it's always garlic. Like that's the I don't know if anyone else has put this together, but I remember as a little kid realizing these things. Most things that ward away evil spirits or monsters and stuff like that in lore, doesn't matter what it is, have some sort of medicinal property for antibacterial or anesthetizing things. So like garlic is very healthy, is very good for you. It's antibacterial. That people use garlic to preserve things. Salt, water, specifically back in the day before holy water became like the thing for demons and stuff, it was running water. You always wanted running water because running water was holy. And that's because running water is clean. And what better way to get the masses to clean themselves and, be healthier in their lives so that they can live to plow your fields is put it in their religious coding. But that's also why Trollocs in the Wheel of Time don't like running water. Specifically in the first book, it's running water. And they say running water in the first book a couple of times. Moiraine and Lan both say it. That was a little weird. He said, what the fuck? That was a little cheesy too. A little much. A little cheesy. What is he doing exactly with his hands? Like looks like he's blocking the sword. Damn, he was ripped. That set, I couldn't imagine how they looking back at this movie, how much money they spent on stuff like this and building this giant set. Kind of crazy. It looks like a missile silo, to be honest with you. Though this movie made back triple its budget. It was one of the higher grossing movies of like a 10-year span. It was in the top, I think it was definitely in the top 10. It was in the top 5 for the year that it came out. It was like 140 million or 150 million that it made on its run. Ah, here we go. Here it comes. The super fast, like, vampire that could dodge sword attacks. Couldn't dodge that. I guess, though, he's probably overconfident. Look at this jump. Fucking ridiculous. What was the jump? Where was he going? Why did he fall? Blade throwing the things that had stopped his forward motion in the air? So many questions. He had to kick it. Now I want to, you know, if anyone's on TikTok a lot, I feel like you'll recognize this. I want to put Blade kicking that thing, just flip it and have him with the girl that kicks the water bottle off the top of the punching bag and have them kick the bottle back and forth now. I'm going to make a cut of that. That was a little grotesque. And silly. See, isn't that silly? I felt like that was silly. It didn't feel like poignant. It felt comical. Yeah, the whole time you're in the air. It's the dumbest move. And how did his forward motion stop? Like he was jumping toward Blade and then he just went straight down. Apparently Blade hitting him with those vials. Yeah. They got to be in Iraq or something, right? This isn't. There's nothing like that now. It's apparently fucking. I don't know where this is supposed to be because that's not the New York City skyline. Obviously, it's L.A. because that's where they filmed this. But in neither place, neither L.A. or Manhattan, if you dig 5-6 feet down like that into a hole, you're gonna hit the water. Fucking most of the island of Manhattan is below sea level. The only reason the subways aren't flooded is because they're constantly pumped out. You want to see something crazy? Go look up videos from Hurricane Sandy. So in the original ending, he was chasing Whistler to Moscow. And the vampire that he confronts here is Whistler. But they apparently changed that in the final cut. I'd love to see Blade on the plane. Like, if they were to... Oh, God, that would be funny. Blade sitting next to, like, an old woman on the plane who's just, like, talking to him, making small talk. And then, like, he's, like, you know, quiet and rude. And he's like, don't be rude to your elders. I'm far older than you. Oh, yeah, it was crazy. My wife and I lived 40 minutes outside of Manhattan when Sandy hit. We had a 30-foot boat go by our house. Something like 11 feet of water in the house. It was crazy. Fucking love this movie, man. Such a good movie. Classic. And no, we're not going to watch Blade 2. As much as I would like to watch Blade 2, we're not watching Blade 2. So if you're in the Discord now, thank you for hanging out and watching the movie with us. We're going to try doing this, sharing this version of watching things together through Discord. We're also going to do for our TV shows in the future because not everybody has all the streaming platforms. And in this way, I can share things with you and you guys, don't need to pay for streaming platforms, which is nice. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's not true. You have to always pay for them. Anyway, I want to say again, I said it at the top of the show, I'm gonna say it now. I was going to postpone X-Men 97 next week's episode because I was going to be canceling my Disney Plus subscription in protest over the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. But Disney and Bob Iger made the right choice, NBC, and they're putting Jimmy Kimmel back on the air tomorrow, and they're taking away the suspension, and they're not doing any of that shit anymore. So good on everybody who canceled all the subscriptions and protested and made a lot of noise because they listened. And when they listen, that's good. I like when they see we have, as consumers and the populace have power over them. So I'm glad they made the right decision. But now we can finish X-Men. So next week we will have the lovely puppets with me, my felt brothers from another mother, I'm going to turn on my camera controls here for a sec. I hope it doesn't wonk out, because sometimes when I turn this on, it like, okay, yeah, see, it shifted a little bit. Not bad, but sometimes it shifts like crazy. But I wanted to spin the camera a little bit because there he is. There's Felt Tom, just hanging out in the corner with his Dragonmount shirt on, his little hat. He's got a little hat. But Felt Tom may make an appearance next week with the puppets, so we'll see. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us and watching the movie with us for a real night where we take a break in between the finale of X-Men. But expect tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, the post for what are we going to watch next? What TV shows are we going to watch next? Or what movie are we going to watch next for our break in between when we start our new show and stuff. So keep an eye out on this, on the Dragonmount social medias for polls of what are we going to watch next. If you join the Dragonmount Patreon, you can get a little bit of insider track on what we're going to watch next and have a hand in picking one of the options on what we watch, on top of all of the other benefits that you get for joining the Dragonmount Patreon, which also includes a plethora of video game servers that we host for people to play in, including Minecraft, Enshrouded, 7 Days to Die, Valheim, and other fun like survival craft games that are good to have a community, but tough to play online because most people are shitty. But our Wheel of Time community is pretty fantastic, and I think we can have a good time as a, video game community and not, shit on each other and break each other's stuff and be the annoying parts of the gaming community for survival games like that. But as always, I love you awesome nerds, and since Crystal isn't here to do it, good night, Crystal.